So I believe not, then you will be seeing this recording at some point in the near future, I hope. But with me, as always, ladies and gentlemen, is the ever wonderful and ever amazing man himself.
What's the word of the day? Word of the day calendar. What is it today?
I can't. I didn't have one today.
Oh, it's all right. You're tired.
I was just gonna say
right.
cute. Is it okay to say cute? Cute. I'm gonna go with cute. The ever cute, Mr. Drew Gwillem. Drew, how you doing?
Adorable.
Okay, we can do adorable. I like adorable. But how you doing, man?
I'm a little tired too. It's one of those days.
Oh yeah.
Got big snowstorm coming, so unfortunately I'm gonna be up working in that.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking forward to that. And
I'm sorry to hear that, man. But I'll be with you in spirits.
Peace be with you.
Absolutely, yes. I won't be out there with you, but I'll be with you in spirit as I am hopeful that nobody shows up at my work through the snow. But stay safe out there, folks. If you are going to be driving in the snow, if you are here in the Midwest, they're calling for quite a few inches. So just a little something out there for you guys, just to kind of keep on guard.
Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. Gonna be fun, folks. Well, with that being said, Drew, are you ready to do this, my man?
Always.
Well, let's do this then, folks. And we are kicking this one off with, yeah. All right, let's just get it over with, I guess. It did happen, folks. The Super Bowl did take place, of course. We did have it. And, of course, nevertheless, we have the Los Angeles Rams who go one-on-one with the Bengals. And lo and behold, it came down to that final minute in the game. And the Rams, off of a tremendous play by Aaron Donald, are able to make it happen. 23-20, the Rams are Super Bowl champions. Cooper Kupp is your MVP of the game. 8 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. Sorry, a little bit of something came up just mentioning the Rams won the Super Bowl. But obviously, a very good game. A lot of good things happened in this thing, and we'll discuss it. But Drew, kicking it off to you, man, obviously, what did you think about the Super Bowl, your overall thoughts? I mean, where do you feel like maybe the momentum of the game possibly changed to favor one over the other? Give me everything that you were feeling in the moments that were occurring in the Super Bowl.
I mean, it was kind of sloppy. It was all right. It had its moments of excitement, of some big plays happening.
Yeah.
Some things that didn't necessarily expect, some injuries that happened. The Rams losing Odell Beckham, I think, really affected their offense going forward until the very end of the game, really. The offensive line, bro, got his ass kicked. He got kicked, which almost led to what looked like could have been a very serious knee injury. Luckily, wasn't. Dude played with a sprained MCL the rest of the way, which credit to him. He's a tough dude. He's got what it takes. I can't wait to see where his future goes. Yeah, because I think he has a very bright future. They just need to protect him. That final drive, it was ridiculous. It was Matt Stafford and it was Cooper Kupp putting it all on their shoulders and taking the team downfield and just doing whatever they had to do. Ridiculous no-look pass at the end. Yeah. But, yeah, overall, like, the real excitement for me was more like, kind of at the end there. The way that final drive went. Just it was fun to see. I saw it playing out this way. I think my final score was 24-21 was the final I called. Yes. So I was pretty close. Yeah. Kind of the way I saw it. Like, I didn't see a ton of points because I thought both defenses, which they did, came up big at times. Couldn't get much run game going on either side, really. Yeah. But overall, I think the better team won. I think the Bengals had a very good shot at doing it as well. Yeah. Overall, it was good. I wish they would have held off on calling the MVP. I heard they made their final vote like before the 2-minute warning. Yeah. And it's like, well, look what happened right after that. Right, yeah. And they could have opened up for Aaron Donald, who sealed the game for him. Yeah. Okay? At the most critical time of the game there. Don't get me wrong, Cooper Kupp, he had an awesome game, and he deserved it. But I think they should wait so they can weigh their options a little more. Yeah. Because Donald definitely was very deserving as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, if you can tell by this.
I know you're upset.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't feeling it. I will say, it was not as compelling. I mean, I'm just being brutally honest. It was not as compelling a game as I would have liked it to be. Obviously, we thought more high offensive scoring.
God
Sorry.
bless you.
I don't know where that came from. I'm allergic to this kind of stuff. But obviously, yeah, it was not as great a game as I thought it was going to be. But overall, I mean, there were the moments where obviously we were, I think, all sitting on our seat, right? You have the Bengals who, they score a touchdown with Joe Mixon, which was pretty exciting, right? I did not think he was going to, it didn't look like he was going to throw that ball. He had been doing that all day where he was kind of running into the line, and then all of a sudden you see him load up his arm and throw it. And it was a great pass there to the T. Higgins in the back. And then obviously you have Burrow launching what was a obviously very controversial touchdown pass by many people's accord. I mean, was it a face mask? Was it pass interference?
The T. Higgins touchdown was definitely a face mask.
Yeah, it was definitely a face mask.
Granted, they missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, man. If I could just get Jamar Chase to score a touchdown, I would have won some money because that would have sealed like 5 bets for me.
Yeah. I mean,
and stupid Matt Stafford was 7 yards away from winning me a parlay and winning me like $30. A little pissed about that too.
Yeah, it was a difficult time for a lot of bettors out there. I know, especially with the OBJ injury, and I think that was
I got that touchdown onto him.
I was gonna say, yeah, that was good. But I think that was one pivotal point because obviously he was starting to break open the game a little bit for them. That was a big touchdown he had. So I think if he's not in that game, yes, it was as close as it was. Him in the game, it might have been maybe more of a blowout, but it's hard to say because I would assume that the Rams probably might have had an easier time handling the Cincinnati Bengals. But overall, I mean, listen, the Rams defense did a really good job, right? Von Miller, Aaron Donald, they really played very well. I know you said Aaron Donald for MVP. I understand Cooper Kupp for MVP because that was a clutch touchdown to catch, right? He's been their biggest. I mean, let's be honest. He's probably been their best player offensively all year long. And as much as we credit Stafford for obviously being the man who's got to throw the ball, Cooper Kupp's the one who, I mean, he was trying to make everybody miss. He's turning it up the field. He had to be in perfect position to make that play.
I totally agree. Like, he is so deserving of it as well. Like, dude had a ridiculous season. Like, 2,000, led the league in receiving yards, receptions, and touchdowns. Like 2,000 yards, like ridiculous season he had there. So he's very deserving. Don't get me wrong. I just wish they would wait to see like that magic at the end that Donald produced for them. Like, give him another option.
Right. Or you know what? Let's do the offensive and defensive MVP. Like let's go with something along those lines because certainly Aaron Donald, I mean, listen, 7 total sacks in this game. Yes, the Bengals offensive line, they were dealing with some backups in at the guard. They were not doing a very good job. But give at least a little bit of credit to what the Bengals offensive line was able to do. They were able to, at least in the first, well, I mean, at the end, it certainly got brutal. But I'm talking about towards the beginning, right? Because let's be very honest.
Right.
In the beginning, they were neutralizing Aaron Donald. They were finding a way to be able to have that center stick that first defensive tackle, pivot off, and help the other guard on the opposite side to block Aaron Donald. They were committing 2 guys to him at all times, and it was working. It's just, I think Trey Hopkins woke up the beast a little bit with that little back and forth on the sidelines when he pushed Joe Burrow. I think that became kind of Aaron Donald's wake-up call. He came in, he made some big plays. Obviously, he makes a big play at the end of the game. Listen, if it would have been a sack for that final play, I mean, because it's an incomplete pass, unfortunately. If it would have been a sack, I would have said, yeah, give him the MVP. That's 3 sacks in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Not many guys have done that. So I would have said, totally, I think he deserves it, especially because that's a clinching moment. Still a clinching moment. It's just, it's a quarterback pressure now, not a sack. But that's semantics and stats and all that stuff. Who cares? But this defense did a really good job. Von Miller played to the level that he was supposed to. This is what he was built for.
This is what they brought him in
exactly.
for.
He's
like,
a
this is what
guy.
He's there for. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to help us win a Super Bowl on defense.
Yeah.
And it's crazy what adjustments do for a team, right? First half, second half.
Yeah, you can really learn something from some really great teams.
Great coaches as well.
Yeah, for sure. But, credit goes to the Rams. I mean, listen, the offense, Stafford did his job. Cooper Kupp was outstanding. Everybody stepped up. I will even give a little bit of love to, what's his name, Bryson Hopkins, the tight end, who was kind of coming in having to play in for Tyler Higbee. He did a really good job kind of getting some key first downs. I really thought they were shooting themselves in the foot with this run game. I don't know why they were so committed to it. I mean, I understand why they were. They wanted to establish a run game, but you clearly weren't running through that defensive line. It was not happening that day.
It was not good.
By the 10th time they were running Darrell Henderson and Cam Akers into the middle of that defensive line, I'm like, all right, I think we can say this is not working, Sean. I think we should go to something else. Yeah, me and Sean McVay are on a first-name basis, if you don't know. But some other things I think was very key on this, too. Obviously, give some credit to the Bengals offense on this. Now, again, yeah, the offensive line, obviously, they crumbled there at the end. But I will be completely honest. Joe Burrow, the fact that now we know he's played through like a sprained knee that he got, we saw the moment that it happened. It looked like, I was like, oh no, not again. Not again. So I was cringing at that. But he steps in there, and he did a fantastic job. I really thought he was going to do it. I thought he was going to finish it off. I mean, you look at the last play, a lot of people have seen it at this point. Jamar Chase had completely stepped off Jalen Ramsey. He was falling. Chase was wide open down the field. If he throws that, if he gets one more second. So
much money.
Oh, my God. If he gets one more second, that ball's coming out of his hand and I'm hoping Jamar Chase catches it and gets in the end zone. If anything, he's in the goal line. And the Bengals have, what was it, like 40, 30 seconds, whatever it was to play with to try and get in the end zone. And they had all their time, and they had their timeout still. So, I mean, it would have been a perfect opportunity for them. I give a lot of credit to Joe Burrow. Joe Mixon, by the way, too, he played outstanding in this game. I certainly thought he was going to light it up a little bit more than I thought he did.
Yeah.
But he established a strong run. Again, this is kind of the Marshawn Lynch thing. And I'll ask you this, Drew. I mean, did you feel on that 4th and 1 that it should have been Joe Mixon to go with, or were you okay with them saying, let's go to the all wide with Joe Burrow? What was your feeling on that with Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow kind of being the studs on this offense?
With that tough defensive line of the Rams with Aaron Donald right up the middle like that, it makes it tough. And everybody like collapsing on that, looking for that.
Right.
He had gotten some rushing room in that game.
Right.
So I honestly, with the quickness of the pass that it was going to take, I wasn't concerned about a sack there. So I think with the weapons that he has, they should be able to complete that pass.
Right.
I would have been fine either way in this situation because it wasn't like that goal line stand. I didn't think it was like inches. I didn't think it was all that at 4th and 1. All that close. So like it was like a full yard it seemed like. So I don't mind them trying to go for it with a pass.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would have liked to have seen at least Joe Mixon be in that game. I know Sam Perrine's a little bit more of a pass catching running back. I get it. And I know, yeah, if he would have dove in, maybe he would have caught that ball. Maybe. I don't know. But if we play if and what's all day, we're gonna be here forever. So I think if you would have had Joe Mixon play, a halfback draw play action, just a quick slant to like the tight end, you might have been able to give yourself more time. That was the way I was looking at it. Fake the draw to Joe Mixon. He goes into the line. I'm sure Aaron Donald would probably be the only one that's like, I'm not biting on this. I know what you're doing. And listen, I'm not saying run Joe, but if Joe needs to, then he can kind of bootleg out, run it. I'm sure he can be faster than Aaron Donald, maybe. And if anything, he can just kind of dump it to one of his receivers real quick on a quick curl or something. But nevertheless, credit goes to the offense, obviously, for what we were able to see out of Cincinnati Bengals. I give them a lot of props for being able to show up and play the kind of game that they did. They played a really good offensive game plan, I thought. I thought Zach Taylor showed his chops. Yes, he took some risk. Yes, that that 4th down where Jones, the linebacker, bats it down. Not a great way to start off your first drive, obviously, but
he ran right into that one.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was kind of like, I'm not too upset about that one. This is like literally
right place, right time.
I don't like the design of that play then, because of your receiver led the defender right to where you wanted to throw the ball, right to the open man. So if anything, I don't like the design of the play.
Yeah, no, and I hear you because as soon as you can see the replay on it, the receiver's crossing over, Jones is going with him, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm not throwing that ball then. I'm like, if anything, I'm throwing it to the receiver. They just beat Jones at that point. I'm like, hopefully he turns it upfield and gets something. But it happened, so props to the Bengals. Now, obviously, there's a big question that's now been flying around, and I don't know how this is going to go between you and I. I don't know how you view on this. I've kind of made my statement, kind of stuck my flag in the sand on this. But obviously, Matthew Stafford wins a Super Bowl. Obviously, a lot of people very excited for him. It's very awesome that he finally broke free of the chains of Detroit and did this amazing thing in LA for the Rams. It was a great win for him. But now the question's obviously dancing around everybody, which is he now officially a Hall of Famer? Which I'm not going to say mine, but I ask you this, Drew. I mean, obviously, listen, Matthew Stafford has accomplished quite a bit, despite the fact that he has been on a team that we can honestly say, for lack of a better term, has been tremendously terrible, garbage trash. No favors have been done to him. He finally wins a Super Bowl. So I ask you the plain, simple question. Do you see Matthew Stafford, and I've got a bunch of notes here of all his stuff, but do you see Matthew Stafford as being a Hall of Famer or not, and why, essentially?
So you see what Matthew Stafford can do on an actual football team,
right?
A team with built the right way,
Mm-hmm.
that's coached the right way, and with some talent around him to help.
Yes.
Yes, in Detroit, he had Calvin Johnson. Yes, he filled up the stat sheet in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Never won.
Right.
Okay. I don't blame him for that.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a huge step in that direction. Do I think he is a Hall of Famer right at this moment? No. Now, if he continues to produce like he did this year and maybe get another Super Bowl and have more seasons like this one, still have good numbers and win, he's headed in that direction. Okay. I think he can be, for sure.
Yeah.
But right now, no.
Okay.
He has to win more in LA and maybe win another Super Bowl.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. And then, you know what? I like that. Because I don't want to rush to judgment on people. That's always been my thing. I want to be patient with guys. And listen, we've been very patient with Matthew Stafford.
See, I have always, even in Detroit, I've always thought he was a better player than he had gotten credit for.
Right.
He just was stuck in Detroit.
Right. Yeah.
That's where it all went wrong.
Yeah. and that's my thing is like, I understand completely that Detroit did him no justice at all, right? I mean, outside of Calvin Johnson, it's been old Nate Burleson, Titus Young, Brandon Pettigrew, early Eric Ebron before he became what he was with the Colts, and then later on kind of fizzing out with the Steelers. Obviously, just a slew of different guys he's kind of come and gone through. He's been injured. He's not had the best offensive lines. The only time he made the playoffs were really when Jim Caldwell came into the game, right? I mean, he had the 1 year with, what's his name, Schwartz as his coach. Yeah. But otherwise, it was Jim Caldwell who went to back-to-back playoffs with him, and that was really because they fixed the defense more than anything to help them out offensively. They had a really good offense. They just needed to get that defense going. And I will kind of side with you on this. Maybe later down the line he can be. I just feel like I don't think he's going to reach that pinnacle at this point. Not to say he can't. If he stays in LA where he's at right now, he can't do this again. If he gets another Super Bowl, yeah, I think that's going to be the lock for him. But and I've said this before, Pro Bowls to me, I don't mean nothing because everybody's canceling out of Pro Bowls now. And Jameis Winston and Mitchell Trubisky are Pro Bowlers, so take that for what it is. And
past Pro Bowls,
yes.
I'll give credit to because it was more of like a thing,
right? Exactly. Like
and
now it's not. Now
like, it's becoming a joke.
Right, yeah. Everybody who's a actual Pro Bowler, Josh Allen, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, they're like, I'm not going to this thing because I have the playoffs to worry about until they like exit the playoffs. And then they're like, okay, I got beat by San Francisco, so I can play now.
Yeah.
Or
like, well, I'm still not going.
I'm still not going because I'm going to just break off my engagement with my lady friend.
But, sorry, Karen. Another failed relationship because you're an asshole.
Called it. Yeah.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is at home right now going, where?
I hope so. I hope he's crying into like a bowl of popcorn watching like a bad rom-com or something like that. All right, that's our shot at Rodgers and that for the show.
Thanks for slipping
that
in.
Absolutely. I had to, man. I had to.
I thought we should have let off the show with that.
That's true. We may have plans for you, Aaron. We may have plans for you. But no, I mean, listen, the stats are there. I think he's got wonderful stats. It's just He hasn't broken any records. He hasn't won any MVPs. He didn't even get MVP votes this year for the regular season. And he didn't even get Super Bowl MVP votes at all this year. He has a losing record as a quarterback, which that doesn't look good. Again, I know it's Detroit, but that's the other thing, too, I come with is that Detroit, I feel like, should have been a lot better because of where he was at. I know a quarterback can only do so much, but we've seen guys like Tom Brady turn the average player into something great, right? When you're a number one pick, you're supposed to be that guy that transcends a team to the next level. Obviously, Detroit had a lot of internal problems at the front office and above. Not the Patriots situation where like everything was stable at the front.
Yeah, that's a very stable, well put together organization, and Bill Belichick.
Right.
Detroit is not even close to that.
Right. But here I'll even use the guy he was just playing against, Joe Burrow, right? Cincinnati has been a terrible mess. Many people think Mike Brown is a terrible owner, but you get the quarterback thing right, and all of a sudden it's like you go from being a 4-12 team to now you're in the Super Bowl. You may have not won it, but you were there by the second year of this guy after he hurt his knee. I think that, to me, is kind of like a thing that says, well, there's a comparison there to say, like, I know it's a different thing. It's a different generation. I understand.
A lot more talent in Cincinnati. A lot more acquisitions that worked out for them.
Exactly.
There's a lot of acquisitions teams make. They even showed it in the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
A big screen full of like stacked players across the whole screen that they had brought in on that defense.
Right.
That was like 8 players maybe.
I think it was 7 players, all from free agency they brought in. And the only one that wasn't playing was Ogunjobi, the tackle. So
they all panned out.
Right.
So if they're all panning out and doing good things for you, that's where it works. When you have a crap organization like Detroit, when you try and bring these players in, they weren't panning out because they weren't the players you want. The guys that were in charge, just like the Bears, the guys they bring in don't usually work out.
Yeah. We know a thing or two about that for sure.
Absolutely.
It's just, and like you said though, down the line he does this again, second Super Bowl. Sure, I'll lock him in there. Because I said this, is he better than Eli Manning on talent? Absolutely. On talent for talent basis, he beats out Eli Manning. But Eli does have 2 Super Bowls and 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Is he better than Ben Roethlisberger? I don't know. I would say I think Big Ben just inches him out a little bit.
I think they're close.
Yes. But Ben's got 2 Super Bowls, and he's got a Super Bowl MVP. And he's also a little bit higher on the yards list and the touchdowns and everything. And he's got winning record out the wazoo because he never lost in Pittsburgh, which is crazy to think that he never had a losing record. But that's like that's my thing is like when I look at Matthew Stafford, Eli's got a 500 record for God's sakes as a quarterback. If he can pull himself up there, which everything says that he could probably have a winning record by the time it's said and done, there's a better chance for him to be a Hall of Famer. It's just right now, like Stephen A. Smith said, he's like, he is emphatically in the Hall of Fame right now. He's not in the Hall of Fame right now. I just can't see it. And I still stand by this. I don't mean any disrespect to him. It's just when we're 15, 20 years down the line, I just feel like Matthew Stafford's a guy that I don't know will necessarily remember as one of the greats. That's just tough for me to say. That I can remember him like I can remember Peyton Manning or Joe Montana or Dan Marino, any of those guys. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have that body of work that we can say, boy, Matthew Stafford was something. Huh? It's just kind of like Matthew Stafford. Oh yeah, he was really good. He had that 1 year in LA, or he had that couple of years in LA, like a little bit more, and I think he's there. It's just right now, like he's on the edge. Let's just say he's on the edge of the steps of Canton. One more Super Bowl win, maybe an MVP, maybe a Super Bowl MVP. I think he's taking those steps up the door. But as it stands right now, it's a little bit harder to say. And you can yell at me all you want, by the way, because I know I've already said this on Blow the Whistle, and people are just like, that's not true, man. You're just disrespecting. I just think people are romanticizing a season that was it was just really nice to see him not getting hurt and destroyed in Detroit, I think. It's just very romanticized for him, that's all. But we got Super Bowl odds already for next year. And believe it or not, the 2 teams that just played in it, they already have the 3rd and 4th best odds. The Rams right now are favored, and this is all by sports intersection. That's their odds. It is the Rams right now at plus 1,000, and the Bengals just underneath them at plus 1,100. Drew, we have a list here of obviously a couple of teams. It's the top 10 who are in this list. Obviously, these 2. Do you think there is a chance that the Rams and the Bengals could be back in the Super Bowl? by next year? And are there any teams that we see on this list now that you think could possibly be in the Super Bowl for next year? What are your thoughts?
Who the hell knows? Anybody that tells you they know is lying to you.
Yeah.
Oh, these teams are going to make it. Yeah, you don't know.
Right.
You don't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
Because every year there's something crazy in the NFL that happens.
Of
There's
course.
a team that goes from worst to first. There's a team that goes from first to worst.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's how it always works out. You got new teams in the playoffs every year.
Absolutely.
New teams getting better. Acquisitions, the offseason, trade deadline are what make or break some teams.
Yeah.
Okay? And not to mention the draft.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think the Rams have a very good shot of being right back there again next year. So, yes, I do think they can. I think the Bengals, I think they have what it takes to get there.
Mhm.
They need more.
Okay.
They need more. Not necessarily on talent on offense,
Right.
but they need offensive line
Mhm.
help. They need to protect Burrow big time. They could do a few more things on that defense, but they have played very well.
Yeah.
They have a shot. I think it's just not as likely. Kansas City, Buffalo always are going to be there. I think Tampa Bay dips down further for me, losing Brady.
You don't trust Kyle Trask?
Hell no. Quarterback situation uncertain. Green Bay too. Like, who knows what Karen's gonna do?
Right. Yeah.
Relationships don't work out for him. Shots fired.
That was very good.
Yeah. So yeah, Kansas City, Buffalo. Other than that, like, yeah, I see the Rams have very possibly being back there again.
Okay. Yeah. I really like Buffalo. Obviously, I'm big on them. I like Josh Allen a lot. I think there's a chance next year he takes that next step to being like I think there's a chance you could see him be the MVP next year. He feels like he's on that move upwards. It's not like linear movement. It's like a gradual climb. Like we saw him this year kind of go like up and then he went down and then he just skyrocketed up in the playoffs. Like, holy cow, he played incredible. You know,
that's kind of their whole team.
Yeah,
for the year. They had that lull in the middle of the season where it was like they just couldn't. They lost to Jacksonville, I think.
Yeah, Jacksonville 9-6.
Yeah, it was bad.
Brutal. But it somehow still end up with the number one defense and a top 5 offense. This team has an absolute excellent ability to make the Super Bowl next year. I firmly believe. I don't even know what to say for Green Bay.
Right.
Cause,
so uncertain what's going to happen there.
Yeah, it's such an abusive relationship where he yells and punches and kicks Green Bay all he wants, and they're like, "But we're all in on you. We'll do whatever it takes to keep you." It's just, I'm cut ties with the guy.
But I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want it. Yeah, okay, whatever. I will say, San Francisco.
She dumped him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She totally dumped him.
I get the feeling.
Oh, God, I hope Green Bay dumps him too. Please.
Be nice.
Oh.
He's so nice. I will say, San Francisco, I think, is the interesting one here. I like San Francisco as like a dark horse, maybe. Plus 1,400. If Trey Lance hits and everything says that this is not Jordan Love, there's a lot of people that are like, is this going to be Jordan Love or is this going to be like, are we going to see a Justin Herbert kind of ascension? I think this is the Justin Herbert ascension. I think there's a good chance that they're going to stretch the field more. They're going to have Deebo Samuel used hopefully more as a wide receiver and not being like, we need you to do everything because you're going to break the dude during the season.
Oh, God, why not? He's so good.
Oh, he's good.
He's so good.
I'm just afraid like they're going to have him like run the ball 20 times. He's going to make 10 catches, and on like that 25th run or whatever, he's going to like snap his ankle. God forbid. I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying don't break a player. We saw what happened with Christian McCaffrey. Please don't let that happen. Try more Cordero Patterson. Do that. Just that can actually catch the football. But never the same. I know I'm blasting still. I don't have any faith in Tennessee. I don't know why they're so high ranked. I get it. Derrick Henry being back, maybe. But
Karen brought property. Nashville.
Yes, he did.
He might be going to Tennessee.
It'd be better than Ryan Tannehill. Be better than.
Well,
yeah, exactly. Denver and Dallas, I have no faith in at this point. Kansas City, sure, why not? They're always a favorite. I would say Buffalo and San Francisco, I feel like, are two teams that could actually maybe be the ones in there where San Francisco's kind of out of nowhere and Buffalo's like the team like, yeah, we all saw that coming. So, and I hope then that Buffalo is the team that gets it done because God knows if anybody deserves a Super Bowl, it really feels like Buffalo wants one. I mean, the fans, the team, my God, they're dying for one. But like you said, who knows, right? We don't know. The season has just ended. We're not even in the offseason yet. We still have to see what happens with free agency, the draft, all that stuff.
Can't wait.
Oh, yeah. We have so much we're going to have to cover, folks. And obviously, I mean, we're going to get into all the stuff with the quarterback stuff. You know, Russell Wilson, does he want to stay in Seattle? Does Kyler Murray actually want to be in Arizona? Oh, my God, there's so much we're going to have to go over.
Is Derek Carr going to stay in Vegas?
Derek Carr going to stay in Vegas.
He's going to get a big contract.
Does Deshaun Watson go to jail and play for the prison team? Who knows?
The longest yard.
Exactly. By the way, shout out to some of our boys who are putting together a longest yard team. I don't know. We won't do it. Oh yeah. But we were doing it in our lab room when we were talking and stuff, and I was like, this has to be a topic at some point. We will put together the all longest yard crew, whatever you want to call it. Like, we will put together a team.
Down.
I have to say this though real quick. The captain has to be Pac-Man Jones, right? Most arrests is the leader. 10 more than anybody else in the league.
He's on the list.
He's on the list for sure. We will definitely do that, folks, for sure. And with that, unfortunately, that's going to do it for the NFL. I know it sucks, but that doesn't mean we're done talking about it, because obviously there's a whole lot more that we're going to be talking about.
Better not be.
Yeah, I know. We're not done with this. Plus,
I would not be okay with that.
He would not be okay. I would be hurt. Of course, too, we're going to be doing more of the player swap as well, because you guys are just throwing out every player possible now. I don't know who sent me the C.J. Gardner-Johnson one.
Oh, my God.
He doesn't
Come
count.
on.
He does not count.
Oh, because he was a dick to the Bears.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's all it was.
No, we don't want to talk about
Very
him.
funny. I appreciate it, but it's only going to be like the top star players, things like that. So, but guys, when we do come back, we are going to be talking about some very interesting stuff when it comes down to a sport that has been struggling lately, but hopefully we'll be back here very soon. And we'll be back right here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. And welcome back, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I am still Andrew Valentin. This is still the ever effervescent.
Effervescent.
I finally found a word. Drew Gwillem. Drew, are you ready to hit
one segment in a break? But we got it.
We got it. It took me a while.
Tired.
Yeah,
cool.
I looked up the source. So okay, I
dinosaurs.
I cheated. Yes, the source. God. All right. Well, folks, God.
There's a new Jurassic Park coming out soon. I can't wait.
How excited I am, dude.
Man.
As a
Jeff
Jurassic
Goldblum.
Park fan, I know. They're all back, folks.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever want to get me a Christmas present or birthday present, you can't go wrong with getting me something Jurassic Park. It's my #1 favorite movie all time. Dinosaur Kid right here. My first car, I had upholstery in there that had a T-Rex on it. No joke.
Don't move.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't see if you don't move.
Exactly. All right, enough about movies. Drew, are you ready to hit this, man?
Yes. Let's do it.
Let's do it then. All right, so folks, we are talking about baseball. That's right. And of course, yes, no baseball is happening yet. We should be in the midst of spring training and everything.
Pitchers and catchers.
Not happening still,
Are
but
not reporting.
We did get an update though on the CBA. It has not happened. No CBA deal yet, unfortunately. But we do have the official, some official discussions that have been kind of given the head nod, not the full handshake, but it's been agreed upon. There will be a universal DH, folks, and the MLB draft will be an official draft lottery similar to that of the NBA draft lottery. So, obviously, depending on who you are, or perhaps you are a Notre Dame fan at home with your son who's probably hearing this maybe and is screaming about the fact that this happened. I don't know. But if you are, I am so sorry to hear that. But Drew, I'll ask you this. Obviously, universal DH, it's going to be a thing now. It's going to be across all leagues. And we have this new draft lottery that's going to take place for MLB draft. Obviously, I know not a lot of people probably know that there is a draft lottery, and it goes like, was it, TJ? It's like 30 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. It's crazy. It's
Ridiculously
a crazy
long. Yeah.
absolutely. So I mean, you can watch it if you want, but you're going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
I'll ask you this, Drew. I mean, the draft lottery is supposed to be there to help with the quote unquote tanking situation that we heard from a certain agent who I don't like. But I mean, what are your thoughts on the universal DH and this draft lottery to help trying to prevent tanking, essentially?
I mean, for me, I'm obviously I'm a Cubs fan
Mm-hmm.
in the National League, so I'm kind of torn because while I do like it, I like the fact that it's going to help my team
Right.
not having a pitcher hit
Yeah.
when they're playing at home. At the same time, I like the idea of that small ball factor of the game where,
Right.
okay, you've got a man on second and your pitcher's up with one out, you bunting him over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like seeing that part of the game too. That's also exciting to me. Like, hey, it's a skill to be able to put down a major league bunt
Right.
with
yeah.
a 100-mile-an-hour fastball coming in or a curveball or like that's got to be ridiculous.
Right.
To just bunt in general
Yeah.
and not like get nailed.
Mhm, yeah. Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of torn. I do like it because like I said, it'll benefit my team. So I'm excited to see how it goes. I mean, it's not like it's never been seen before. We saw it with the shortened season.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I did like it. Now, I mean, it kind of hurts being a Cubs fan and not having Schwarber anymore because he could totally been a great DH for you.
Right. Yeah.
If you would have kept him around.
Right.
But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll add a new wrinkle for the offense.
Yeah.
As far as the draft lottery goes, I mean, I understand the whole point of tanking, but and it does help having the lottery, so teams actually do try a little harder. But you know, it's still in the end, I don't think it's gonna make a huge difference.
Right.
If your teams are that bad, then there's not much they're gonna do. They're not gonna try and win more just because there's a lottery now.
Right.
If they're bad, they're bad. They're going to lose the games, so they have a better shot of being that number one anyways.
Right.
So I don't think that's going to make as much of a difference.
Right. Yeah.
Except for teams, just the worst teams may not get the first pick.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree with you on it as far as the universal. I've said that the universal DH was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's good that it is happening because I don't think it will take too much out of the small ball. But I agree with you. I know what you mean. The strategy of one league versus the other obviously was always very nice to see. It did give a competitive edge to some degree. It kept things interesting in the game.
And you have to manage different ways
Exactly.
depending on where you're playing.
Right. And so I think that sort of like sportsmanship will be lost on the game. But at the same time, obviously, I understand baseball wants more home runs. People love home runs. This is a sport that's kind of on the sink or swim situation right now. It's just barely holding above water. If they want to kind of more get towards the top, they're going to need to make some major moves to make. And this was one that I think could help them. I agree with the draft lottery thing. I think it's really there just because last year we kind of saw it like the Cubs. I'm not trying to dig in old wounds, but listen, the Cubs made big moves off of guys, right? Then all of a sudden the product that was on the field, which there were some moments where obviously they were pretty competitive still with guys like Wisdom and all these dudes.
Schwindy City?
Exactly.
Schwindy City dropping bombs on everyone.
So
come on.
It seems like you found the Cubs have found maybe some new stars, but obviously you would have liked to have, stars, right?
Good one.
Stars.
Good one.
Let's go with that.
Stars for a moment.
Right. Yeah, stars for a moment.
Okay.
But it is unfortunate because obviously you would have liked to see those guys stay there, stay competitive, right? There was a big feeling at the beginning of the season, especially with the White Sox and the Cubs, that it's like, well, they're kind of like at the top of the league right now. Is there a chance they both make a run and we have the actual, intercity World Series maybe? I mean, it was a quick moment, but it was a moment that we were all kind of thinking of, and obviously it didn't happen. But I will hope that this kind of lottery system will help with that. It's just very difficult, I think, sometimes to manage tanking because teams can come from every direction with why they made a certain move, and I just feel like sometimes it's just never going to be. No one's ever going to be satisfied with it, unfortunately. So, but I'm glad that the MLB is at least making strides. I just wish they would just agree to a CBA deal so we could know that baseball's happening. Because as of right now, baseball's still on a lockdown, and as much as Joe Buck can say it's going to happen in 2 weeks, and Manfred's like, I'm positive it's going to get done soon. I have no faith that this is going to happen. Not even this month. I think we're still quite a whiles away from anything happening in this situation. And
his optimism doesn't mean anything.
Exactly. I'm not listening to Joe Buck, yeah, maybe because he is in a way a reporter, sort of, but I'm not listening to Rob Manfred and his optimism at this point. He's with the billionaire babies that are arguing with the millionaire babies. So
yeah,
it's a baby fight, folks, if that's what you want to call it. Well, another major league news, obviously, one of the bigger contentious points now that seem to be of the CBA is that there is a huge talk going out about minor league jobs. There is a lot of talk about the MLB looking to try and see if they can reduce the number of jobs for minor league players. I guess basically because now they own minor league baseball. TJ, make sure I'm staying on point with this, if you will. I just want to make sure I get this right. So Major League Baseball owns the minor league. So now they're basically saying that they want control, or they want control of how many players they have, and if not, then the minor leagues are on their own, essentially, right? Is that the basis of kind of what we're looking at? More or less, they're in control. Okay. Right. Okay, yeah. All right. So I get that. Yeah. So it's basically all about just controlling the players and stuff and the money and everything like that. But obviously players are pushing against this because they don't want to see guys lose their jobs. Obviously, me and TJ were talking about this in the back. This would mean obviously the Dogs would maybe get an influx of these guys, which hey, then minor, other independent baseball then gets kind of a nice jolt. Really good players start to jump in, but obviously you're not getting the same paycheck then.
Right.
So Drew, obviously this is very contentious. I don't know anybody who's really like this. I'm sure you're on the side of like, this is ridiculous. So, I mean, your thoughts on how this is, do you think, or rather, let me put it this way. Do you think that this is going to be a situation that gets solved anytime soon? Because this feels like kind of the big battle that they're fighting on right now. Do you think that this is something they might be able to find an agreement on soon? Or do you think that this is maybe going to be that lock that they're stuck on for a while?
I mean, we'll see how long these cheap billionaire pricks want to be pricks about it. Okay.
Yes.
I think it's really crappy that they are, we don't want to pay you, so we want to get rid of you.
Yeah.
Like guys that have worked their butt off to get to where they are, to try and get to the major leagues, the highest point in their sport, the craft that they've worked their whole lives for.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they get almost to that point and you're like, no, we're not going to pay you anymore. You're out.
Yeah.
Like that's terrible. I don't whiny billionaires.
Absolutely.
God, rich bastards with your money. Yeah. I'm not a fan. I don't like that. I think baseball's been this way and now all of a sudden they have to pay for it and they don't like it.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
No, absolutely. I've always been one when it comes to the minor league guys. I feel for them. I mean, listen, they have to pay for housing sometimes, or they have to find somebody who can be like a surrogate family to take them in. I mean, I know that for the Dogs, that most of these guys, if you're not living in a hotel or something like that, you're staying with a family or something. I mean, these guys have like very little with them as it is, and now they have to do even less with what they're making and stuff. Like this is, to me, this is just ridiculous. I understand that there are a ton of, like, we got rookie A ball, we've got single A ball, like yes, there's all these different levels, but you need those levels to help these guys progress
and develop your team.
Exactly. If you're going to start eliminating that stuff, then you're going to see a lot of guys. I mean, yes, it would be, well, you either succeed or you fail. And I think that's where you're going to see the drop off in baseball standards then. And if that happens, then you're going to see a drop off in the game because you can't have that, right? Yes, a Bryce Harper and a Steven Strasburg would be nice if it does happen. come out at 18 years old as the number one pick and become a star. That's great. That's awesome. But how many of these guys?
That's the exception, not the rule. That doesn't happen very often where guys just jump right into the majors and have an impact.
No. I mean, what? Mookie Betts was like, what, a 5th round pick or something like that? He was not a 1st round pick. He was not one of the top guys taken. A lot of these stars are not top guys taken.
Yeah. They have 30-something-year-olds in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Because that's where they spend their career.
Exactly. And some of them make a living off of that.
Yes.
Like,
and
that's
they
their
never
only
quite
choice.
make it.
Yeah.
But they have some 30-year-olds that finally do make it to the majors and make an impact.
Like Frank Schwindel and Wisdom and all these dudes that came up with the Cubs. All of a sudden, they're like, who are these guys?
Yes,
and it's like, oh, they've been there for a while. You just don't know them because you never saw them really.
Right. And now they have the opportunity to make an impact on the major league level, which they have been, like I said, working their butt off to get to that point.
Absolutely. And they deserve that opportunity to get there. It would be a shame if this happens. But you know what? I will say this. From this moment, if this does happen where they say, okay, we'll agree to this, I hope it doesn't happen. But if the Players Union does say we can get off this hill, that's fine. Then I hope there's somebody out there, some billionaire out there who's like, well, I'll just create my own league and we'll just fund something for these guys.
Yeah.
Because from these moments that drop off come the mothers of innovation. And from that, you get things like the USFL and the XFL. And we'll talk about those things a little bit too. But you get those moments where it's like, wow, there's a lot of NFL players that don't have jobs. Well, let's make another league and let's give them a shot, right? And the XFL gave a lot of guys second opportunities. I mean, for God's sakes, PJ Walker walks in as the MVP and technical champion of the league, and he gets a job with the Carolina Panthers. I don't think he's going to keep it, but he gets a job with the Carolina Panthers. Like, he probably would have never gotten that chance because all he was a practice squad guy with the Colts. So, but I hope that the Players Union, they said they'll continue to fight this for the minor leaguers because no matter what, they're a union, they're for the players. So we'll see how this goes, but this could be the hill that it comes down to maybe. But with that, folks, still in baseball, obviously, on the South Side, the Chicago White Sox, the team that I support, decided to become one of the first teams to kind of make a mandate, actually, when it comes to the virus and COVID booster shots, if you will. So for those who don't know, obviously, this is, again, I understand everybody's got a choice. It's a very contentious thing, but the White Sox are making it officially a mandate for the minor league players that they need to be up to date with their vaccines and the booster shots for the virus for spring training, if and when it does come. So, Drew, obviously, again, I know this is one of those kind of conversations that, you know, comes around every once in a while. But what are your thoughts for the White Sox kind of placing this? Obviously, there's a lot to this, but what are your thoughts for the White Sox making this mandate?
Mine are pretty short and simple on it. I do not agree with anybody forcing you to put something in your body that you don't want to.
Yeah.
If they are all for it, then fine.
Yeah.
But I do not feel it is okay for somebody to force you to take anything, do anything, put anything into your body that if you don't want it there, it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
My body, my rules. Okay. Nobody will tell me that otherwise. So if they choose to, fine. But other than that, I don't like anybody saying you have to do this.
Right. No. Okay. That's again, totally fine. Stop yelling at me. I get it. I understand it. Everybody has the choice on this. I agree with it. I think the White Sox maybe should have gone a little bit of a maybe not a mandate kind of situation. I'm not, and I will say this right now, I'm not a mandate guy. I'm not really into the mandates. I mean, when it comes to the whole situation with this virus and everything, yeah, I did get the shot. I am getting the booster and everything. That's just me though. I'm not saying anything. Make your choice. But I think I agree. You should allow these guys to be able to make the decision on whether or not they do. Minor League already kind of did say late January that they were telling players, okay, players are not mandated to get it, but coaches, staff members, managers were the ones that were mandated to get it because, I mean, they run the day-to-day operations and everything. So I'm not saying that's even right. But I understand the front office kind of people, the managers, the coaches, things like that, maybe getting the the vaccine more than I do with the players. I feel like the players, because they're the product on the field, you can give them maybe more of a feeling. But then again, to each is their own. I know this is still a contentious topic, but for the White Sox, I think it's just a matter of you want to make sure you have all your players. You want to make sure everybody's able to play, right? Because the next thing you know, somebody gets sick, they infect somebody else, they get the whole team sick, right? I mean, so I understand where they're coming from. It's just the obligation to say like you have to do it now. And it's not I just don't, I have a problem with that.
The fact that you can still have the shot and still get sick,
right?
You have the shot, like you just said,
right?
You just got sick.
I did get sick.
So okay, so you're forcing somebody to take something to try and prevent something from happening that can still happen.
Right. Exactly.
To me, it's like, where are we going?
Right.
Except for leading us away from like any freedom that we have for ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, listen, the only thing that I like when I was told I even had to ask them, I'm like, so I can't get this, and they're like, no, you can still get it. It's just like, but it just may not be as severe. And
may not be.
I mean, it depends on from person to person.
Yes,
I was very fortunate that it didn't get very bad. It felt bad. I will be completely honest, but it was not as bad. I know there are some people that have had some bad reactions to it, but I also do know there are some people that haven't gotten it, and it's been pretty bad. So, but I'm not saying anything again. Everybody has to make their choice. So I'm all for the players being the ones that should be able to choose what happens with them or not. Again, it just comes down to what the White Sox, I think, deem fit for their team. What's the right business decision, right? A lot of this has just come down to business. But please, if anything, just come yell at me, please. I don't mind you yelling at me. I get it all the time from you guys anyways.
Yeah, business. It's my own business.
Yeah, exactly.
Mind yours.
Especially one of you guys out there. He just keeps shouting at me about it still. We haven't talked about it in months. I still get emails about this stuff from him. Enough. I've heard enough from you. All right, last but not least, in the baseball world. So obviously this is a little bit more on the saddened side. It's unfortunate. If you guys don't remember, there was a player by the name of Tyler Skaggs, a pitcher for the Los Angeles Angels, who passed away due to an overdose of what was supposed to be oxycodone, but was actually found to be laced with fentanyl, a very dangerous drug, a very addictive drug at the same time too. And now the trial is going on about his death, and we now have a key person in this named Eric Key, who has been named as the main person that has been kind of charged with being responsible for providing Skaggs with the said drugs that were the oxycodone that was laced with fentanyl. So much, and I haven't watched much of the trial, but I've seen the bits and pieces where they just talked with the players and stuff, because 4 players testified, being former New York Mets pitcher and, of course, Angels pitcher Matt Harvey. These are all former Angels players, by the way. Matt Harvey, Mike Morin, Cam Bedrosian, I think is how you say his name, and CJ Crone. Some of these guys are, obviously, you might know their names. They're all former Angels players, and they all testified about having some sort of relationship with their drug habit, to the point now where MLB is talking about possibly putting a life ban on Matt Harvey, potentially. So, obviously, very, very harsh stuff. This Eric K, again, is alleged to be the man that provided the drugs to Skaggs. So much of the all the arrows are kind of pointing at him to be the focus. He was the public relations guy on the road for the Angels, from what I understand. Had previously been in rehab for drug substance abuse himself. So there's just a ton of factors in this whole situation that have kind of played out. But Drew, I ask you this. Obviously, this is very big, and we know that not just sports in general, but certainly it seems baseball has had a huge problem in the past, and even still here in the present, with the drug culture and everything. And obviously, in terms of these are not like your marijuana, cannabis, things like that. This is certainly higher, very strong drugs. So, Drew, I ask you this: Do you see that Major League Baseball needs to make what kind of? Let me ask you this: What should Major League Baseball do to shift any sort of power away from players getting hooked on drugs? Obviously, we know that this is a problem, again, in all sports, but specifically for Major League Baseball, what do you see that Major League Baseball can maybe do potentially to help kind of shift the power away from something like this happening again with a Tyler Skaggs or with Matt Harvey and CJ Cronin, these guys being potentially addicted for what sounds like for years with these guys. What do you think?
Well, just have open conversations about it. Whether they do, depending on I'm sure it depends on the team, what their programs are, what they offer, what they provide for the players, and coaches and their families,
right?
But just have open conversations about it. Like we're here to help. You're part of this team. You're part of this family. We're here to help if these issues are there.
Yeah.
If you're having problems, we're here to help. The keywords we're hammering home. We're here to help. We want to help. We're here for you. We want to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure everybody knows that. And even still, there's going to be, if somebody doesn't want help, they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was necessarily that situation. I don't know if they did enough to try and help these players, whether they knew about it. Guy bringing him drugs with fentanyl in it is, I'll say it's any way you put it, it's not good.
Yeah.
But just taking straight oxycodone compared to oxycodone with fentanyl is a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
One that could kill you like that, and fentanyl.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
And oxycodone will take a little more.
Absolutely.
So anybody who's taking that willingly has serious problems and needs serious help. That's where it's I know it's a touchy subject to talk about, but to offer this help and offer the conversations, the voice for somebody to reach out to, I think that is a big step in trying to keep these issues from happening.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me personally, this kind of hit because it's not like I knew Skaggs, but in my own personal life, I've known plenty of people who have dealt with these things, and particularly with oxycodone, and in one case, another person with fentanyl, which unfortunately they did pass. It's a terror. I mean, these are two very addictive drugs that are, well, still are in some way used on a regular basis within the medical field, but in not as large a doses as you can obviously get in a more illegal fashion. The fact that this man was providing Skaggs and other players, or rather providing Skaggs and then apparently Skaggs providing these players with the drugs, just to me, that is the ultimate, to me, an ultimate criminal action. Like, you are totally responsible then, in my opinion, for the death of this young man and for possibly ruining the lives of these players. Maybe not right now, but it's potentially down the line where if they have another fixed problem where all of a sudden the hit starts and they need to get that fever, and then we're hearing about Matt Harvey breaking into a drugstore or something. I'm not saying that will happen, but you never know, right? I mean, we have the story with Ryan Leaf where we hear that after his playing days, he got hooked on painkillers, and then he was breaking into a drugstore, like a Walgreens or something, trying to steal the painkiller pills because his knees hurt him and his back hurt him and all that stuff. Like, you don't want to see that kind of stuff happen. So, and I agree. I think conversations have to be made. I think that there needs to be, and listen, marijuana, that whole situation, cannabis, I think that stuff's legal. Like, that stuff is totally legal. Like, the whole thing, like with the Super, like, not to make light on the situation, but Snoop Dogg smoking a joint in the Super Bowl, right? And all of a sudden I see that's big headlines and I'm like, so? Like, I saw one where it was like, Snoop Dogg smoking weed at Super Bowl. I'm like, I wish it would have said like reefer or something. Like, how old are you, dude?
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's legal now. Like, it shouldn't be a problem, I think, for any sports. I think it's certainly, it has its, I mean, it's still kind of like smoking a cigarette in a sense, but at the same time, I don't think it's as addictive as painkillers have been, because far more players have been hooked on them than it
not
seems.
Even close.
Yeah, exactly. It's not even, no comparison on the death ratio, it seems, or the criminal ratio.
You can't overdose on marijuana.
Yeah, or if you can, then you've got to take loads of it, I would assume.
I think you'll pass out and fall asleep before that happens.
I would think so. So it's unfortunate that it's come to this point, But if this can be a changing moment to somehow help the MLB, maybe with figuring out a situation to help guys with rehab. I think in all sports there has to be a more committed effort to not just help the older veterans who get, the problems with their knees and backs and everything. I think there also needs to be that rehab help as well for these guys, because you never know what a guy's dealing with at age 40 or 50 after they're done playing, right? You never know the injuries they might be feeling. So I really hope that the Tyler Skaggs' wife is able to get justice in this. I hope that some good comes from this, that a man is put behind bars for everything he did to a young man and unfortunately lost his life. And I hope that somehow it helps MLB change in helping players with their addiction, because addiction's no joke. Like I said, in my own personal life, I've seen it too many times. It's not an easy fight. It's a very hard struggle. It's a one day at a time thing every single time, and all you can do really is just kind of power through it. But trust me, it helps a lot when you have people around you that care, that are going to help you, that know about it, that can help you stay away from it. Trust me, it helps a lot. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for the Major League Baseball situation. And when we do come back, we'll come back here on a little bit of a lighter note. Well, maybe. We'll see. On some of your wonderful fan questions. That's right. Fan questions are officially back, and they'll be back right next here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. I'm still Andrew Valentin, still here with Drew Gwillem. Drew, we're coming down here to the end of the show, but guess what? Fan questions are back, man. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have been asking us a ton of fan questions for months now. I apologize we haven't gotten to them. Just there was way too much news that was happening. But we are back with them, folks, now that football is kind of a little bit on the side. Now we will start answering some of these fan questions. And believe it or not, these ones were actually directed for you, my friend.
For me.
For you. So These are coming from fans who have directly asked to you. The first one here is from Jesse. So Jesse asked us the question. He is from New York City, New York. Jesse asked us, he says, "Hey, guys, I really love the show. Drew, I had a question for you. I know that you're a big football guy and into basketball, so I wanted to ask you this question about basketball. Because obviously Andrew is crazy on the Brooklyn Nets. I'm crazy on the Brooklyn Nets.
Just Kyrie.
Just Kyrie.
Well, now Ben Simmons.
And Ben Simmons now. This was from a while back, by the way, before Ben Simmons got traded there. But he did ask this. I didn't put this in there, but he did add this. He said, do you think that the Nets, or will the Nets need, and the Knicks need to blow everything up on the team, you think, to get back on track? Or do you think that this team potentially just needs to stay the course with where they're at? What are your thoughts? So I'll let you start it off, since obviously this is your question. So.
Okay, the Knicks, they have problems. They have some good pieces. They have some players that have gotten better.
Yeah.
But I still think that they have. I don't necessarily think they have to blow it up, but they need work. They need things to happen. They need to do some work there. They need more. So if they can get more, they're an upcoming team and they're becoming a more attractive place to be.
Yeah.
So with Thibodeau as their coach, always getting the most out of his players, they need to get more. He's the guy that's kind of bringing players in too.
Right.
So he's that GM coach type of guy.
Yeah.
So if he can bring in the right players, which I think he can, and he can definitely coach them, I know that.
Right.
I don't think they need to do a ton. As far as Brooklyn goes, if this was asked before the trade deadline.
It was before the trade deadline.
Deadline. So the only thing I think they needed to do was figure out how to get Harden out of there with the way he was complaining.
Yeah.
So them again, they're when fully healthy, they're one of the best teams in the East. They're one of the best teams in the NBA when they're fully healthy.
Yeah.
So I don't think they need to blow anything up in Brooklyn at all. I think the trade that was made was best for both teams.
Yeah.
I think because of having Kyrie there, Ben Simmons won't be able to play point guard. So I think they're going to get the most out of Ben Simmons where he will be best utilized, and that is away from the point guard position and not having to shoot the ball a ton. So I think that what they did was best for them, and I think while Harden is a really good player, don't get me wrong, Ben Simmons can still pass the ball. He can't score like Harden can, but they have KD and Kyrie who can fill in those scoring.
Right.
And the additions otherwhere. Drummond's a good player that they have down low now as well to add in there. So I like what they did, getting rid of a problem and adding somebody who I think is going to benefit from being in Brooklyn, and I think Brooklyn's also going to benefit from him being there and playing in a position that will be better for him.
Okay. All right. I think that the Knicks definitely are going to have to blow some things up. I didn't understand the Cam Reddish trade, but now we kind of know that Tibbs didn't like it either. That's the word, is that Tom Thibodeau didn't actually greenlight that trade. He didn't really like it.
Surprised it was allowed to go through.
I know, yeah. Who would have thunk?
Thought he had that power.
No, apparently James Dolan has a lot more.
Yeah.
If that was James Dolan, I'm only assuming. I feel like Rose, the guy that's the GM, would not make that move either.
Yeah.
Zion's not coming to New York. Sorry. It's just not. He can barely fit through the door as it is. But I do think the Knicks are going to have to blow things up. I don't know if that's going to mean trading Julius Randle or anything like that, but I feel like they're in a position right now where it's like, listen, they could still make the play in tournament, but they're on such a just downward line at this point. Like, I don't feel like they're going to get any better at this point unless somebody like gets cut for some reason and they pick up like a great player on free agency. I don't think that's going to happen. So I as of right now, I will say I think the Knicks, are the team that are going to have to blow up. As for the Nets, I agree. I don't think they need to get blown up. I know how you guys know how I feel about Simmons. If he's playing power forward, I think it benefits him better. I think this team does actually play a lot better. I think his skill set plays more to that level. And listen, Adam Silver just came out too with the whole thing on like he's not in favor of the mandate about Kyrie can't play because he's only at home and stuff. I agree. The fact that it is like a mandate, we talked about this before when it came out. The fact that it only affects him and not visiting players as well is weird. I know it's a New York mandate. It is what it is. That's their choice. But I agree with Adam Silver. It is odd that does take place because if it goes for one guy, I feel like it should go for the other team that's visiting as well. So, but I also am kind of glad maybe it didn't happen because the Bulls, although the Bulls are, according to the thing, 100% vaccinated. So, but nevertheless, I will say the Knicks, you don't need to blow it up. It's fine. I think they're going to need to rework some of these guys in terms of the bench. I think they need some more guys, I think, that are less big men and maybe a little bit more stretch the court guys that have a little bit more length. You know what I mean? Like small forwards that are around like 6'6", 6'8", that can shoot but also play defense, because it just feels like they're massive up front and then they've got a bunch of guys that can kind of just sit on the perimeter and shoot. I don't know. I mean, right now they're in a downward spiral. I don't know how they get better, but we'll talk about that more tomorrow, guys.
KD needs to get healthy. That's it.
That's really it.
They need to be in playoff position for him to come back, get healthy, win some games, maybe improve their spot.
Yeah.
And then they just need to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
And be healthy, and they're going to be one of the best shots to be in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolutely, and not have your star be Ben Simmons. I just had to take that shot. I'm sorry. I know. Yell at me. Whatever.
Shots fired.
Exactly. Shots fired. Unlike Ben Simmons, he doesn't take shots. I had to do another one. All right. So this next one, this actually comes from Rich, asking you this question. From Richmond, Virginia. That is not a joke. He is Rich from Richmond, Virginia. No relation, of course. So he says, guys, really like the show. Just wanted to ask Drew this quick question. Obviously, you're a football man. The USFL is going to be starting up here really soon, and we know that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson bought the XFL, and they are going to be starting here very soon as well. The plan is to, I think they're starting this year, right? Yeah, he says they're starting this year.
So.
I believe so. They're
supposed to. I think COVID and everything pushed it back.
It did. But they're supposed to be coming. He says they're supposed to be coming back together. He says, do you think that the USFL and the XFL can exist together? And he says, real quick, extra question too. Do you think that there is a possibility that one, two, or possibly even both of them could be, what's his word? Hold on. Could be absorbed. There we go. Jesus, I'm so sorry. My eyes played tricks on me there. Could both leagues be absorbed by the NFL as their new G League? What are your thoughts?
I think they very well. I think they could exist together because you could have some crossover. Like, let's take one league and we can play the other league and have some kind of champion come out of that.
Okay.
And get your best players out of both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have some players from USFL that want to play in the XFL instead. If anybody's going to make it work, it's going to be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. The man is. It's incredible what he's been able to do, not like with himself, but everything else.
Mhm.
Everything he touches seems to turn to gold.
Yeah.
So I think he's the right guy, having a football background as well, to get that rolling and make it hopefully stay.
Mhm.
I know COVID kind of derailed it some as well, but
Yeah.
I think it had its troubles during that short stint that it was on anyways.
Right.
I think it's very interesting for the NFL to absorb and kind of have a G League, have
Mhm.
players. I mean, it's kind of like them having practice squads now, but practice squads don't play games. They
Right.
don't play each other. So I think that's very interesting, and it'd be a very cool idea to see, especially now with COVID running, guys that they have available. Yes, they can pull up from their practice squad, but this could give the practice squad players the opportunity to play meaningful snaps,
Mhm.
like in game speed, and have them have a better opportunity to be ready to play meaningful NFL snaps if they were needed to be called on by their teams.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually a very interesting idea, and I think if the NFL thinks they can make money off of it, then they're definitely going to want to try and go for it and push for it. So I think it's very much an opportunity for them if they see fit. But I think it would be pretty cool and a cool idea to switch over to that more of a NBA kind of route.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I kind of envision. I mean, first off, I do think they can exist together. I like that idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that. The crossover that could happen between the two, maybe even a merger between the two. Again, I don't know if I don't think it would be the competitor of the NFL. I don't think they want to be the competitor of the NFL.
Wouldn't.
I think they want to be the competitor of the CFL,
Yes.
being the rulers of spring football. Which, by the way, CFL is still decent football. I know it's a little bit crazier rules, but football is football. If you're a fan like me, and I'm sure like you, if you like sports, you like football. Yes, 3 downs and the end zone's bigger. Absolutely, I'll take it all day. Throw all over, motion everywhere. Do it all, folks. No, I think they can absolutely exist together, maybe even merge, become one giant league. I think that might be a smart way to play it. I know they are two different existing entities that probably want to exist in different ways, but I'm all for it. More football, please, right? I mean, we've got like 20, 30 different basketball leagues going on across the world.
Right.
Why can't we have more football leagues? I mean, for God's sakes, there's like 10 different football leagues in the world right now in Europe playing. I got a buddy in Germany right now playing running back, which I'm trying to get an interview with him. So be on the lookout for that.
One of my friends did the same thing. He played in Germany for I believe a season or two.
Yeah, there's opportunities out there.
Right.
Why not give those guys a shot potentially? Some more international guys. Why not show those games on the air as well? I would be interested to see how it look. I mean, it's not going to look like an NFL game, obviously, but it would give you an opportunity to see more players in the NFL. As far as being absorbed, why you had to choose that word, I don't know. Thank you for the question, though, Rich. I appreciate it. And Jesse, too. Thank you, guys.
Thank you both.
Yeah, tough word, I know. But for the NFL to take them on as their G League, I think that's a great idea. Like, I don't know about you, but I view it as like when you played football in high school. I played football in high school. You play on Friday, and then guys who didn't play on Saturday for the JV game and stuff. Like, That's at least how it worked for me. I don't know how it worked for you or anybody else, but that was how I did it. You didn't play on Friday. You played on Saturday against the JV team of the team you just played against, and that was your opportunity to play some games. So I view that as like that kind of thing. Like, okay, everybody plays Sunday, and then everybody plays Monday, and then like I don't know, like Monday afternoon or maybe Monday evening, right? Monday evening, everybody gets home from work. You're like, let's watch some USFL or XFL football, right? I mean, it could happen. It could be a chance to get those practice. Like you said, gives the practice squad guys a purpose, gives them a chance to show what they can do. And then you ultimately get to say, hey, maybe I want to sign that guy. Maybe I want to get that guy.
Right.
That guy could solve our problem at receiver. That guy could solve our problem at offensive line.
Giving guys more NFL opportunities by showcasing their skills.
Absolutely. And I think that's nothing but a benefit to the game because from there, they grow through the ranks. Maybe they become an all-pro. And what a story, right? They came from the XFL and the USFL, and they made it to the NFL, and they won a Super Bowl. Who knows how that story goes, right? I mean, God's sakes, the dude, Taylor Heineke, went through the XFL and the AAF and all that stuff, and look at where he ended up, right? That's a great story. We want more of those stories. Give us more of that.
I think the NFL process for getting players there is pretty good. There's not a ton of guys that really slip through the cracks, but even if it is limited, it's still giving the opportunity for it to happen, and it has happened. So
right.
I think it's always a good thing and a positive thing when the opportunity's there.
Absolutely. And I mean, listen, you're giving these guys another chance in the sun to get an opportunity. I mean, and again, you never know, right? Some team in Germany might see you and be like, hey, if you don't make it in the USFL, we'll pay you, we'll get you over here. Who knows? The NFL may call you if this doesn't work with the USFL and the XFL. We like what you saw. We'll sign you to a contract real quick. We'll put you on the practice squad. There is great opportunity for these two leagues. I'm excited to see them come back. I'm just happy spring football's here again. More football, the better, because honestly, we get more games to talk about for picks and predictions. We get more games to bet on and stuff so that you guys can yell at us or say how we made you money. Stop it. But nevertheless, I can't lie. I'm excited to see what this looks like. I'm really happy it's coming back. More football better. More football better. I can't wait. But thank you, Jesse, and thank you, Rich, for the questions. And again, thank you to everybody, of course, for these questions.
And thank you for directing questions at me.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And you have a lot more questions at you. Some of these are very inappropriate, folks. You can ask these.
I'd love to know.
I don't think you would. If you want to, we could talk. But
I did probably still want to know.
Okay.
And then I'll either yell at you.
We will talk behind.
Or you'll see a devilish smirk.
Yeah, it's something like that. So we'll maybe if we do like the triple X-ray. Well, no, now let's not go there.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, not that version of X-Bomb, but the more exclusive version, emphasis on the X.
Now I really want to know.
Did I just drop the ball on that? Yeah,
maybe.
I might have. Man, I might have. All right, that's going to do it for our show here before we get into any kind of legal trouble, which we don't have legal anyway. So
on YouTube, we can do whatever the hell we want.
Exactly. Well, within guidelines, of course, within guidelines. But
yeah.
Drew, as always, it's great to have you on. Great to talk the Super Bowl, baseball, answer some questions with you, man. It's always a pleasure, man.
Always good to be here.
Absolutely. Well, please let the people know where they can find you, listen to you, all that good stuff, man.
Right here on Wednesday and Thursday. And you can find me on Instagram at d.gwil25 and Facebook at Drew Gwillem. Feel free to send me any questions that way as well.
Absolutely, guys. Make sure to go hit up Drew Gwillem, ask him any questions, any comments you guys have. We want to hear from you guys. We really appreciate all the love and everything, the support that you guys send to us. So please keep those questions, keep those comments coming. And even the nasty ones. Why not? Keep them coming, folks. And the videos and everything like that. But if you guys want to check us out, don't even start it. You guys can check me out. I'm at The Fluffy Guru on Twitter. I'm also at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram.
Uncensored show. We can play all of your dirty emails.
Yes, absolutely. If only there were voice recording. Actually, there shouldn't be voice recordings on some of these. Yeah.
That could get rowdy.
Yes, it could. But yes, make sure to go follow me there, guys. Obviously, guys, make sure to follow us, like us, and follow us on Facebook, where you guys can get updates on when the show's going live, when you're getting the stream. As I said before, Twitch, unfortunately, is giving us a little bit of a hassle right now, so we're going to be streaming primarily onto YouTube until we can figure something out for the Twitch stream. So until we can get that fixed, guys, just be aware that we will be streaming at least exclusively now for YouTube, but the uploads will be happening onto Facebook as well, so be on the lookout for that for the shows as well, guys. So make sure to subscribe here to the YouTube channel as well. Check us out for the live stream. We're live every Wednesday, Thursday, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Also, too, make sure to follow us on our social media at XBomb Sports on Instagram and Twitter as well for updates on the show, too. And, of course, any questions, comments, anything you want to ask us, like Jesse and Rich asked us today, and so many more of you have asked us, make sure to hit us up at xbsportsofficial@gmail.com, where you can send us all the funny videos, all the funny antics, quirks, and all the weird questions you guys want to ask us and everything like that. Also, too, check out Blow the Whistle. That's right. Blow the Whistle will be going live on Monday, back to its normal schedule, 2:30 to 3:30, or excuse me, 2 to 4 p.m. Central Time on Monday at sportstownchicago.com. Myself, David, and Tyler doing the radio thing, as well as on Tuesday, we'll be here live on the show. Again, Twitch may not be up, ladies and gentlemen, so we will try and find a way to get ourselves on YouTube.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
Started out that way, might as well finish. Right?
Exactly, right? Full circle, folks.
Yep.
So we will try and find a way to get ourselves onto YouTube. So if you guys can, just sit tight, wait with us as we try to figure things out. If not, look for us on YouTube on this page right now that you're seeing us. I will share it to the Facebook page as well. Again, that is Tuesday, 2:30 to 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Check out also, too, Money Motivation with Hannah B. It's a wonderful little podcast. If you guys don't know it, it's a great podcast. It's that you guys can check out for all your needs that you want. To help you stay happy and satisfied and pepped up and happy throughout your days, because she does an incredible job in an interview process with people in the broadcasting industry and so many more, like music artists, on-air broadcasters, just like herself as well, talking about what you need to help get your money motivated, because we all know Mondays suck. Check out Money Motivation with Hannah B on Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and Spotify, along all other podcasting platforms. And make sure to listen to her on 102.3 XLC, the Afternoon Drive. That's right. Hannah B is our very own broadcaster herself on the radio, 3 to 7 p.m. Central Time on 102.3 XLC. She is doing her thing, so she just ended. I know she was going live. So when you do get a chance, check her out on the radio. Give her some love. Give her some likes. Tell her the Boom Crew say what's up. Again, check her out, guys. She's been killing it right now on the radio, doing an absolute fantastic job. Hannah, we're so proud of you. And, of course, too, check out the boys at the Parlay. That's right. If you guys don't know the Parlay, it's our very own Tony Lopez, along with former NBA, Chicago Bull, and former professional boxer Kendall Gill, as they talk everything in the fighting world. That's right. Combat sports, from boxing to MMA to kickboxing, so many more. They interview great people that were former fighters. There's current fighters, former managers, current managers. They have a lot of great talks when it comes to combat sports, so you guys can check that out at theparlay.com. Also, too, check out the Fake Football Guys. That's right. If you're looking for your help on the fantasy football takes, make sure to go check out the Fake Football Guys on YouTube. You can search them up on YouTube and they will pop out. It's our very own guys, Dustin and JC, as they give you all the knowledge you need for your football needs. So check them out, guys. It is the Fake Football Guys here on YouTube. And real quick, too, TJ and I have officially started a brand new show we are producing, and I want to give a shout out to these guys. It is called The Sharp Action Show. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, I know, but guys, it is a great show done by very good guys, Dan, Anthony, and Marco. It is a betting sports show, so if you are in on betting, if you love when we do picks and predictions, you'll love these guys. Our guy Marco is a big-time baller, hit $4 million on the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah, I'm not even joking. This man is legit. So if you're looking for you don't think we give good bets, I'm telling you right now, this is the dude to listen to. So go check it out. It is Sharp Action Show. We are going to be going, hopefully, live on Instagram tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. That is the time that we are looking at. It is at Sharp Action Show on Instagram. Go check them out. Go follow them, guys. And check out their website as well, sharpactionshow.com. That is also where you can find their very first live show as well that we did with them as well. So keep on the lookout for that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end this show. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow, where we're going to be having a full day of NBA and so much more. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.